More games have been shipped last year on Steam than in the last 15 years of the store combined. And players have never been this bored, and you probably felt it as well. Every new release looks just fine and it runs fine, but it means nothing. So give me 9 minutes and I'll show you exactly where that soul of games went. Here's what changed. Around 2022, making a game stopped requiring you to understand the game you were making. AI writes the code, the dialogue, and even the capsule art and store page. Last year, roughly 19,000 games hit Steam, and most of them are technically functioning and complete hollow at the same time. You have scrolled the new releases lately and felt like you were looking at the same game wearing 15 different hats, but your pattern recognition is working fine. By the end of the video, you will have two things. For developers, one rule that decides whether this flood buries you or clears the shelf for you. And for players, a 90-second test that tells you if a game was made by a person or assembled by a pipeline. If this is useful for you, subscribe. New ones come every week. Developers, you're feeling this from the other side. Your store page launches next to 100 other releases at the same day. Your 6-month project was hand-built and the systems sit in a grid next to something a stranger prompted into existence over a weekend. And then the screenshots. Nobody can tell you're 2 years apart from his 2 days. And I know exactly how a hollow game gets made, because I tried to make one. I still have a test build where I tried to prompt every NPC to make a market district ran by generated AI, 40 characters. And in a playtest, someone asked me why the innkeeper was rude at you at night, and I opened the file to check. I had shipped a person-shaped hole, and players fell straight into it. So why do these games feel dead when they run at 60 FPS and have no bugs? Because of what friction used to do. Before 2022, building that market district cost you weeks. You wrote the innkeeper's schedule by hand, and somewhere around hour 40 of what's the boring work, you made 100 small decisions nobody asked you to make. She's rude at night because she's covering for her sick husband upstairs. The game never tells you that, but it's why her lines are shaped the way that they are. And players feel that even though they can't see the reason. So that friction was there. It was a filter. The boring work forced understanding, and understanding is what the raw material taste is made of. Every hour you spent inside a system was an hour that spent the system inside of you. AI deletes the boring work, but it also deleted those 100 decisions that used to happen during that work. And what ships now is statistically the average of every market district ever written. It's competent and familiar, and it feels really empty. And now, if you're a dev thinking, my generated content is fine, I curate it. I've watched developers say the exact same sentence. The ones who could answer questions about their own game insights never needed that sentence. There's one rule that explains all of it, and it decides everything that happens to you from here. Here's the part 2 dead prototypes and a hollow market district is needed to understand. It's an amplifier rule. AI multiplies whatever you bring to it with that understanding. And multiplication has the property everyone in the debate keeps forgetting. 0 times 0 is 0. Hand a code generator to a designer who understands economy loops, and she ships a tighter economy in half the time. Hand the same tool to someone who couldn't sketch his economy on a napkin. He produces something that compiles, runs, and contains exactly as much as the design that went in. The tool multiplies the soul that showed up. It has nothing to do of its own or to add on its own. So the sentence AI ruins games is half true. The flood is real, players are right, and the shelves are filling with average content at industrial speeds. But the emptiness comes from the people prompting. And the same property that creates the flood creates an opening, because amplification works in both directions, and almost nobody brings anything worth multiplying. So a quick test. Name one game from the last 12 months that felt like a specific human made it. Took you a while, right? Now try to remember 3 you played and forgot. It takes way less. Comment that game you felt human. I'm collecting the list for a future video about what those games did differently. And here's how to use that rule, and the whole thing costs you one paragraph. Before you hand any system to AI, write it by hand, what the system is for, what it shouldn't do, and the one decision inside of it that only you could have made. And that's a napkin paragraph. If you can write it, delegate everything underneath it in a clear conscience. The decisions still stay yours, and your typing was never the part that actually mattered here. If you can't write it, stop. You are about to make a really bad game, and you're about to multiply it by 0. Then pick a signature system and build it entirely by hand. The weather, the dialogue, the way doors open, whatever your game gets remembered for. Below the waterline, you can let AI eat something, like build script, make the settings menu, save systems. Nobody's soul ever lived in a settings menu, and that's not bad. After every AI pass, run the ownership check. If a stranger pointed at any line and asked why, could you answer it in one sentence? 5 minutes a week and you're permanently on the right side of the flood. Players, your version is the 90-second test. Open any NPC, any item, any description, any menu in a game you're unsure about and ask why it's there. In a human-given game, you hit that option fast, some weird, specific choice that somebody clearly fought for. In a just assembled pipeline game, you hit an average. 90 seconds is all you need, every time. And here's what that rule looks like from the outside. Dev 1 prompts a full crafting system into a project he can't explain yet, ships it in 3 weeks, and the store page looks great. Players refund the game at minute 80. The Steam forum asks what crafting is for, and there is no answer because there was never a question, and the game is dead in 2 weeks. Dev 2 writes her napkin paragraph, hand builds her weather system because that's her signature, and lets AI write the save system and every menu. She ships in 4 months instead of 9. Her reviews keep using the word personality, and she couldn't point to the line of code. It lives in hundreds of decisions she made on purpose. It's the same tool, but the multiplier had something to work with. If you want the filter to actually hold, post your napkin paragraph in my Discord or in the comments down below before you build a system. Writing it in front of witnesses is the entire trick. Link is in the description. Here's the shift. The flood buries 2 devs who bring nothing to multiply. And for everyone else, it quietly is clearing the shelves. Players aren't tired of games nowadays. They are starving for evidence that the person was there, and that evidence is one thing that can't be generated, which makes it the cheapest mode you will ever own. So this is an AI reframe for you. If this is a hit, subscribe and hit the bell, and the bell actually matters because YouTube shows new videos to about 7% of subscribers. New ones come every week, and to the devs, one comment before you go. Name the system only you could have made in your game. If you're staring at the comment box with nothing to type, you just found this week's work. And with that, I hope I'll see you in the next one.